All right, it's hard to believe, but we just flew through the first hour, and now we top a new hour, all new at 2. The Democrats' war on success, ripped apart by the head of America's largest bank after meeting with New York's socialist mayor, Zohran Mamdani. All right, this is the brand new hour of America Reports. I'm Sandra Smith in New York, and Bill, it's great to have you here today.
Sandra, great to be with you. That first hour felt like 10 minutes, essentially. I'm Bill Malugin in for John Roberts today. JPMorgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon warning progressive left leaders are driving wealth and business and taxpayers out with their tax-the-rich agenda and socialist economic schemes.
Can't demonize success. The Wall Street titan also sending a blunt message to New York's Mayor Mamdani, saying he doesn't care what the socialist says, but he's watching what he does.
They think that somehow being anti-business is going to help a city. It's not. So we all want to pay fair taxes. That's not the point. But at one point, people vote with their feet, and there are a lot of studies that have shown that all these people moved out, and they're obviously New York's booming. So you're not going to see in this year's taxes, but a lot of people are paying billions of dollars taxes left. Why do you want that? How does that help the lower paid person in New York?
Wow, Gerry, that's a good question. Gerry Baker is here, Fox News contributor and Wall Street Journal editor at large. Because the goal of any New York City mayor, or any mayor for that matter, any politician, should be for voters to be honored with a leader who creates a business-friendly environment. It benefits all, no matter what your social policies are. It benefits all to have a business-friendly environment. Gerry.
Yeah, Sandra, you know, socialism has been tried over and over again. Yeah. It's kind of the definition of madness, really, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And so, you know, along comes Zohran Mamdani and thinks, well, you know, New York City, if I can make it here, I can make it anywhere. Socialism doesn't work. And it's exactly as you say, and as you heard Jamie Dimon say, what it does by taxing, you know, it sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, let's share the wealth, you know, let's have more of the wealth to share around. What it does, New York City taxes are already incredibly high. Businesses pay very high taxes. Individuals pay very high taxes. If you put those taxes up even more, people are going to move out. They're doing it already. I've spoken to several business leaders in the last month or so who've had conversations with Mamdani and have made it very clear to him, look, we are already paying very, very high taxes. We pay our fair share. Don't keep going on about we need to pay our fair share. We pay our fair share. All you're going to do is you're not going to hurt us in the end, because we're going to go. We're going to go to Florida. We're going to go to Texas. We're going to go to places where, you know, our business is welcome and our taxes are low. So what you're going to do is you're going to hurt the people of New York, because you're going to take away those jobs. Yeah. You're going to take away those opportunities. Socialism, as I say, tried and failed many, many times.
Amen.
They're doing it again.
Because the very people that he's demonizing that will just pick up and leave are the most mobile. It's those that don't have the money to pick up and leave when they feel overtaxed that are going to be stuck back here paying the price for all of this. Jamie Dimon was really interesting there, and you kind of get the sense that he's really speaking his mind here in this new interview. Here he is on Mamdani's far-left vision for this city. Listen.
He can be an ideologue. He has to compete, too. The Dallas mayor calls up all the time saying, what can I do to help you? I have land over here. I have, you know, and that is pro-business and pro-people love living there. And that's what New York City, now New York's a wonderful place, too, but that is the result.
I mean, how can you argue with that?
Well, that is the way that is the way good government works, which is to say, of course, you don't run the country, you don't run a city in the interests of big business, but you say to them, you're important to this city, you create huge numbers of jobs, you create wealth for this city. What do you need from us? We're not going to give you everything you want, but tell us what we can do. Look, this is just, as I say, the saddest thing of all here is that it won't be, in the end, the very wealthy people who will lose out. It will be people who have jobs that derive from the wealth that is created by people who have the means to do it. You heard Jamie Dimon say at the beginning, New York is booming right now. It's booming. It's not booming because we've got a socialist mayor who's putting up our taxes. It's booming because people want to come to New York City. They want to work here. They want to create money. They want to keep more of their wealth, keep more of their income. And if you take it away from them, you're going to take away that dynamism. As I say, the country's still going to be okay because they'll go to other places. But New York City, with its socialist mayor, is going to go the way of all socialists, which is poverty, immiseration, and misery for the people who have to suffer.
And Jamie Dimon, you have to think about how much he just invested in this city with that massive new building that he just built
Billions
and put up.
of dollars for one building alone.
A couple blocks away. Yeah. It is massive. This is his reaction to Mayor Mamdani's beef with Ken Griffin. Listen.
I think he realized he made a mistake in naming Ken, vilifying a name and a person. And my grandparents were all Greek immigrants. Okay, I've been working my ass off now for a long time. I think vilifying people, simplifying arguments, even if you think it's politically is a bad idea. And I think he probably realizes that was a bad idea. It's probably why he's seen a bunch of us now. I'd like to maybe have a better relation with the business community.
Even Democrat Robert Wolf, who just sat down with Mamdani, said after he met with him, he said, I think Mamdani might want a mulligan on standing in front of Ken Griffin's New York City apartment and demonizing a massive employer in the city.
Look, Sandra, what was it, a year or so ago, a little bit more, a year or more ago, the CEO, leading executive at United Healthcare, was murdered on the street by a, latter-day kind of vigilante who supposedly is standing up against, the wealthy, standing up against the capitalists. We've seen this political violence, unfortunately, especially from the left, and increasingly targeted against business leaders. It's an incredibly dangerous, reckless thing to do, to stand up there and basically say, here's a target. I'm not saying he was explicitly calling for violence, but when you call people out like that, when you stand in front of their house, you show people where they live, what do you think is going to happen? So it was incredibly reckless, incredibly stupid. I'm glad to hear from Robert and indeed from Jamie Dimon there that maybe Mamdani does recognize he made a mistake and won't do it again. But that is, that, and I got just one final point, Sandra. This is where unfortunately, where a lot of the Democratic Party is right now. It's where all the energy in the Democratic Party is. It's in this staunchly, viciously anti-capitalist idea that these people are rich, that they don't deserve it, and we've got to take it away from them. And it's a dangerous moment. It's a dangerous moment in terms of the risks of people doing crazy things, like we saw with this guy what was his name, Mangione, and it is a dangerous thing more broadly in terms of the policy, the direction of the country. The country needs to move in a way that encourages wealth creation, encourages investment, and creates prosperity. And socialism and calling out rich people for being bad is not the way you do it.
To your point, AOC, you can't earn that. You didn't earn that. Right. You do hear that refrain from Democrats. Thank you very much. Gerry, good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Bill?
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.